Great content. More would be appreciated. Awesome.
Maverick, and again, the way I'll put this is whether it's an operator ban phase or a map ban phase, the coach of ITB, Kangaroo Kenny, puts a lot of work in trying to win.
Camera fault predictions.
Team at this moment.
Sure.
Everything is very calculated.
Does my camera overheat? It is really hot today. But I have a fan blowing on the camera. And so far, my camera has never overheated as long as the fan has been on it. So I'll give you 2 minutes to predict. I recommend you predict no, but we'll see. I could be wrong. 2 games ago, you clutched a 1v2 versus Gunner and Wi-Fi. Am I him? Put the clip in the Discord. You won't. Put a bag of frozen peas over it. I really don't want moisture to get into it.
They do. There's no other way about this realistically going into this, and I mean for ITB.
So both of these teams will be going to Esports World Cup. Is it fair to say these are both top 3 teams in Europe? I think ITB is definitely a top 3 team. You could debate Wolves or Secret. It's tough. I think the results-based analysis would suggest that Wolves are a better team than Secret because Wolves beat ITB and Secret could not. However, the sample size is so small and this Wolves team is so new that's really tough to say. I would say based on longevity, Secret is probably the better team in my power rankings still. So I'm gonna say this is probably like the 4th best European team in Wolves versus the, I'll say 3rd best European team in ITB. I don't know. I give a lot of credit to Secret performing when it mattered. Obviously, Secret lost to ITB, but Esports World Cup is starting on the 31st. This is a VOD review of the qualifiers. If ITB aren't a top 3 team in Europe, who are the top 3 teams in Europe? I guess you'd say G2, Wolves, and Secret.
That wasn't Paris. That was...
The thing is, I don't think you can say Wolves are a better team than ITB because they beat them, but then also say that Secret are a better team than ITB when ITB beat Secret. If you're going to use, like, the most recent results, then your top 3 should probably be BDS, Wolves, and ITB. If you're willing to count more longevity, aka the major, I think your top 3 should be BDS, Secret, ITB. Are we forgetting BDS exists? No, no, the reason I haven't mentioned BDS is because they're obviously the #1 team. We're not forgetting they exist. They're not worth mentioning because if you don't think they're the best team in Europe, you're insane.
You don't need to extend, you don't need to take risks, and you want to keep as many defensive players alive as long as possible and make that execution.
Okay, full anchor strat from Wolves. They've got the Kaid, and there is no Thatcher on the board. So we're working with mini EMPs for the Moto Hatch. Chat, I am a big hater of mini EMPs for the Moto Hatch, especially when you only bring 2. But they do have the IQ, so it's actually fine. I didn't notice the IQ till just now. Ooh, clever with these claws.
Getting rid of this electric claw, so should be pretty easily done. You get the ping from the IQ. There you go. Get that breach open. Now the player can't play inside of mode 2.
Well played. Well played. What frustrates me is when teams don't bring in Thatcher and they don't bring in IQ and they just bring impact EMPs and then they just miss the impact EMPs like 9 times. Because it's hard to get a drone into there if somebody's playing Moto. It's really hard to get a drone down there. But they have the IQ, you know, they're not stupid. They thought of that.
The vocal point of this play is going to be from the Hatch and pressure in blue. 3 bodies stacked up. Actually, the entire team is vulnerable from success.
Grim is likely being used to take blue. They're going to push Moto with the Ying. I'm a little worried about the Warden, but otherwise, this looks like a great push. I got nothing bad to say about this push so far. Everything's being done well.
And Oscar finds an opening. Dead shot first to fall.
Yeah.
Happen, but it's going to be ITB. They arrive in towards sight, but shut down.
Losing the gunfight onto Asian kind of sucks.
That might be enough to
Also, how do I say this guy's name? Because Asian is incorrect. Yeah, good push.
Creeds gets it, and ITB get the opening round.
Asa, okay. Asa. Assassin. Got you. What time is it? 4 p.m.
win the round, they used perfectly. And not only that,
You think
but
G2 is the best team in Europe? All right, Thunders. I know you are Brazil biased, but you have to be
That
real.
was a very, very clinical attack from the side of ITB, and again, I asked the question. There's no pressure inside of Dirt, and very quickly, that was answered to me. Everything was vocalizing on that push down Moto Hatch, and pressure arriving with those Grimbees inside of Blue generated.
It's not Azure. Well, Azure's on ITB. I'm talking about the mute player on Wolves, which Wikipedia says is Asa, and Chad is saying is Assassin, which also makes more sense than Asian.
Tell you what, I absolutely love seeing teams with a very clinical way of approaching that basement attack, because I mean, we saw a lot with the Knights in LATAM, how clinical their attacks were on this site in LATAM South. ITB just showed how crisp they can be.
now we've got a bit of a change in a lineup from Into the Breach. They changed
Wikipedia says Asa, so I'm gonna say Asa.
attacking operators based on what they've seen on this top floor defense.
Kind of an
Thing to keep an eye on,
interesting
aren't too sure about
strat.
Azure,
What
who
the
played
fuck?
inside
Hold
the
on.
tier
What
two
is that?
system for a long
I was reading chat and I looked over and the Goyo was doing something fucking weird.
attacking
So they got a Goyo canister on this wall,
operators based
and
on
then
what
you've
they've
got
seen on this
a
top
mute
floor
jammer,
defense.
if not two, on the wall, and you're full reinforcing it.
People aren't too sure about Azure, who played inside the tier 3 and tier 2 system for a
Why?
long time. He used to be
What is the point of the
an
Goyo
ideal
canister?
side, and he always played the entry role, so it's no surprise
I've never seen anything like this. This is so weird.
playing on Ash. Let's keep an eye on what
It is a
Goyo
cache
do
extension.
on the back of this run, but look at how much value they've got.
Like, that Goyo is just never gonna get popped, right? Like, my only thought is like a red flank could pop it. Maybe you could flank red and pop it to mask your escape.
They've got to clear the player on side of Cash, and that's where the problem lies.
They immediately impact the camera and then see the fucking scope of this Goyo. Oh, the silencer betrays you, Deadshot. The silencer betrays you. He could just get him in the feet if he wants. No way! Oscar! Holy shit, shit on. That's tough. I guess it just stops you from opening the breach. Like, you pop an exothermic charge on that wall, and then, like, the defense already, like, immediately has the opportunity to just leave. I think that's the only thought process from that Goyo. Is, like, yeah, it just stops the attackers from actually... I guess they could impact it from above, too. Yeah, I guess that's it. If they breach it, or if they're trying to breach it, you just impact it from above. I see. I understand. It's very interesting.
Using the audio cue of Oscar to peek up and take him down. He's still playing inside. Now he's lost the reticle.
I don't know that it's the most effective Goyo I've ever seen. I feel like you could get more value out of it, but it's certainly unique.
In the sides of ITB. More shots fired, more shots missed. Finally dealt with by Azure, but he's done his job. He's used up so much of the time.
Yeah, this is a really, really good round by Deadshot. I think ITB just had to be more together when they tried to push that. But, like, the Goyo canister and the reinforcement honestly made it really hard to pinch. And then the fact that they didn't have a buck made it really hard to deal with him from below. They didn't have a buck or a Deimos. I think this is just an operator selection problem, ultimately. Because they brought tools specifically to open that top red wall, and then they couldn't open the top red wall because of that really interesting Goyo canister. And then Deadshot also hit a nasty shot. That's a good round from Wolves. Good mechanical skills from Deadshot, and then just like a cool strategy. That strategy kind of gets torn apart by a buck, I think. But then at least like you're forcing the attackers to take bottom floor control. You're always threatening them with a flank if they're playing on the bottom floor. Like, it would waste a bit of time at least. And I mean, like, end of the day, it's not completely free to just like kill a player from below on a buck. You know, it's still difficult. And you can probably usually rely on your Goyo to at least get one there.
Either he got too far ahead of schedule and got himself stuck on the door.
You lost so many channel points betting on this game, it's hard to rewatch it. You want to see what G2's capable of? That's fair, Thunders. I do think G2 are better than people give them credit for. Like, I understand why people give them the credit they do. G2 is, you know, a very easy team to hate, and they've trolled some really quote-unquote easy games that they should not be trolling, but I think the G2 roster has potential. I hope they don't immediately drop somebody. This is Genter, yeah. I mean, I've not watched it before, but this is an old game. Not that old. It's like a month old. A couple weeks. Despite losing, I trust ITB to always learn from mistakes. Yeah, I mean, I think ITB... I think it's very impressive that ITB took really 4 players plus Kendrew, who had never really been at the top of Siege, and grew to dominate the European League and qualify to back-to-back major events. You know, I don't think you do that unless you're very good at like learning and you're very unless you're very good at learning from your mistakes. Because most of these players did not start as superstars, you know? These players, like, didn't join ITB as, like, the best players in the world. Anyways, it's a rush. I didn't even realize this was a rush. 9 times out of 10, this gets done with a blitz. ITB say, fuck your blitz. We don't need one of those. We're just going to go execute. And it caught Wolves completely off guard. They should have had a beeper or a Goyo canister or something inside of dirt. Maybe they were aware of it. They just like couldn't respond in time and lost their one. Ah, good push. We've been watching so much like quote-unquote bad Siege. Like we've been watching a lot of like Element 2, and we've been watching a lot of like Brazilian Tier 2, and even before that we were watching a lot of like the MENA EWC quals and like the LATAM Esports World Cup quals. And honestly, it's so nice just watching a round where like the team that's supposed to win always wins. Like the games we've been watching have been so chaotic where like the setup is not great, the push makes no sense, and then it's just chaos at the end. We've watched a lot of games like that. Not all of them in Element 2, not all of them in, you know, every tournament. But we've been watching a lot of games that go that way. The first 3 rounds of this game have just made so much sense. They've just looked like such solid, reasonable rounds where, like, teams are playing well and it's like a real strategic battle of minds. And it's like, I don't know. It's very funny watching this in comparison to the games we've been watching over the last couple weeks. It's just such better fucking quality. Missed the opportunity to use Osa this round. I might ban you. Who is Assassin? Assassin is a new player from I don't actually know. I think from just Tier 2. French player, played on Helios Gaming, who you might know from Tier 2 last year. Also played with Team 7 times, who I've never heard of, but apparently that was their last team. Yeah, just Tier 2 French player. Same with Lasmu, just a Tier 2 French player. Lasmu come from Make Your Destiny, who are a little bit more well-known because they played in the LCQ of Stage 1. They lost to Wolves, actually. So Lasmu and Aza, 2 young players. I honestly don't know anything about them, so I can't really give you much intel here. He played with Team 7 times. No. From the first, you know, 3 rounds on KD, it looks like Asa's fucking nuts. 5-2. I don't think he's been, you know, particularly round defining. I think despite having fewer kills, like Asa's getting a lot of like impactless kills, to be honest, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you know, I'd rather a player get kills than not, but currently I think Deadshot is the best player through these first 3 rounds because Deadshot is the main player that had the most impactful kill in the 1 round that they actually won, you know.
I think they realized they're not dealing with the OMI. Prudes can likely tell that and relay that information on the gadget of IQ. If they can push in now and do their best to try and clear the Azami off of Rafters.
Do you see that silhouette over by pool table and doesn't get the chance to catch those attacks?
No
There we
Doc,
go.
no
Totally now
Wamai
the
at
Lost
all
control
on this
by
Raptors
Nickel.
hold. Feels really bad. I think this is the first, like, round where I think a team is just, like, completely misstepping. I think trying to hold Raptors with only an Azami in 2024 is, like, kind of bad. Because Capitao just, like, absolutely shits on you.
On a site like this, it is still pretty heavily defender favored, heavily.
At this point, I don't think it's defender favored. I mean, I know Wolves win this game, so maybe they do win this round. But I think in this round, ITB are in a pretty strong spot. They've got 2 smokes for their execute. They have bottom floor control with Oscar. They just have to really watch out for the Yokai, and this is like free. And the C4, I guess. They could push deep here too, I don't mind that. I don't think they will. I think they're just going to try to plant.
20 seconds left to go and a good amount of damage dealt. That player does run away, and no one
They
gets
start their
rid of
plant
it.
now? Yeah, great.
Oscar creates
He
fire
planted while the
on
rest of the players pushed in.
Acer and Deadshot next to ball.
I think strategically that's a bit of a misstep from Wolves not bringing a Wamai or Doc for Rafters, but
Very well done.
otherwise, great round from ITB.
They now lead.
And even better again, even though Kenny didn't get the kill,
When am I adding an elo system to Mini Siege? I'm not going to add an elo system. Because that would just make people spiral. It would be so much work just to basically make it so like it's less consistent. Or more consistent. And I don't like consistency. I don't want you to like... I don't want you to just know, oh yeah, I'm a good Mini Siege player, I'll always win. There should be some tension in it.
It would have completely changed the scope for that round, as those 2 attackers would not have made it into bottom garage, and then the Azami would have stood their ground. But with a 3-1 ITB, when arguably
Mini Siege is just the thing you see at the top of your screen. If you type in chat, you'll see yourself play. If you type !MyKD, you can see how well you're doing.
Wolves would be the team that get across the line, as much as it pained my heart to say that as a loyal Kangaroo King supporter, but I do feel that ITB have played exceptional games of Siege so far on this attacking side.
Kane, were you ranked first place before the reset or after the reset? I think you were ranked first place before the reset. Although maybe you were ranked first place both.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
I'll get there eventually. No, but Gym Bedroom, the site they went to, the only victory that Wolves have had on their defense, arrived on this site. Can they find a replication of that?
No, you can just type anything. You don't have to type !play. The bot is basically constantly scanning Twitch chat, so anytime you send a message, you get entered into the pool of players.
Even the round they lost, they got into a very good position. They were just a little bit too slow that time.
But the pool of players resets every round, so you have to keep typing.
Planned a trick again, but not going to be successful this time. And this is a lesson for a lot of people at home. Always put the thermite on one side of the wall. The amount of times, and we have seen it in the past, where even at the tier 3 level, players put it on the middle. And banded tricks like that.
There should be a chance of queuing into a cheater for Mini Siege. Maybe for April Fools, I'll just like add cheaters to Mini Siege. I kind of like that idea. Alright, Gym and Bedroom. So, I like the adaptation already from ITB. They're not going to try to clear cache this time. They're simply going to open the wall, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. No, they're just bringing a buck down below. Tough. Yeah, I was wrong about what they're doing. Wow. Wow, just good little aggression. A perfect C4 will open things up from Deadshot, and then Lazmu gets one on the exit as well. 2 for 2 for the cache extension on the side of Wolves, and they've won it 2 different ways, which is really interesting. The first way, they hunker down, they play really slow, they waste a ton of time, they go 1 for 1. The second time, they yeet out a C4, they run away, they get a bunch of kills. 2 very different ways of holding down the cache extension. Both are super effective. If I'm ITB going forward in future Clubhouse games, especially against Wolves or strong cache extension teams, I maybe consider just like opening the CC wall and then pushing Jacuzzi. Like, it's nice to have construction control, but I don't know. It's not going very well for you.
They're waiting for that opportunity moment. Someone to find some information. Here they go. Flashbangs out.
Am I co-streaming Esports World Cup? Yes. I'll be co-streaming every game of the Esports World Cup.
The C4 sent out by Asai is going to be enough, and Kenny will be the player caught by that one. P4 finds Azur, and yet again it looks like Jim and Bedroom is going to be the fortified bastion.
Esports World Cup starts on the 31st, so in a little over a week, I believe, yeah? About a week and a half?
Going to be shut down. Wolves find themselves a second round.
It was a really smart call to rotate to try to
If
plan
Wolves
behind
play this way,
the
Esports World Cup, they're not making playoffs.
However,
I don't
the
agree.
C4s would have would be telling they
I think
were-
Wolves...
they
Wait, how'd they lose that
were-
round?
It's not
Wait, I was reading chat. I assumed they would win that round.
always gonna win it.
Oh, no, they did. They did win that round.
ITB, they're still
Right? Yeah.
fours would
I
have
think the
to be
cash...
better
Okay.
anywhere. They get
I think on basement, honestly, it's not looked that bad for Wolves. They've just kind of been shit on by ITB.
3-2
ITB is just playing really well in those basement defenses. I don't think Wolves are doing anything wrong. I didn't like their CCTV cash hold, but then their Jim Bedroom hold is really good. So, I don't know. One bomb site, I think they play really well. One bomb site, they didn't play well at all. And now we'll kind of get the answer. Can they play this bomb site well? They're over 2, but I don't think they're making any like fundamental mistakes. They're running a lot of Goyo, which is kind of fun. I'm a Goyo fan. I was about to say it'd be nice to see a Tubarao. I feel like they're known for their like anchor Kaid Tubarao plays, and so ITB just banned out the tube. Makes a lot of sense. ITB clearly came in knowing Wolves wanted to play like basement anchor strats, because they specifically bans the Maverick Tubarao and then plans the whole time to play IQ and Impact EMPs. Like, they came in with a real specific strategy on how they wanted to tackle this basement anchor hold. We'll see if they can go 3 for 3. I kind of want to see Wolves revert back to the roam strategy, to be honest. I think what's the best situation here is the Wolves just try to roam, and then they just, you know, set up more barb or some shit to stop another dirt rush.
Usually it's a maybe. Doe could be bringing them, but they've decided to go for more of an explosive lineup. But that KE is going to be a real problem now for ITB.
Yeah, vertical time. I think EWC time zone is like an hour ahead of Europe or something, maybe 2 hours.
Who this is going to be. Logic bomb goes out. All those defenders' phones ring in the back pocket.
Yeah, Falcons currently the most club points in Esports World Cup. I mean, realistically, they're just the org that's invested the most and has the most invested back into them.
Second EMPs in back pocket. The trick is good as well, so kitchen hatch should remain closed.
You think vertical Candelas still have potential on this bomb site? Interesting. I think the biggest problem with Candelas is you're mainly using them on the site for back armory, where Kaid is playing, which doesn't have a soft floor above it, and blue, which doesn't have a soft floor above it. Now, both of them have hatches where you can toss down the Candelas, and that strategy is very popular and used quite often. I think the reason why, like, Ying on this bomb site was really popular, especially like during SI. It's fallen off a little bit, I think, in favor mostly of like Grim and just like flashbangs, because like every single team plays a Warden right where Mowgli's playing it. Warden in this position is so common. That's a cool Kiba. That's crazy that Kiba actually works. I like that Kiba. I don't think I've seen that before. That's a super cool Kiba. I kind of want to back up this round and just see exactly what it's hitting. Must be some little jut out there.
But Oscar finds that trade in tunnel, and this could be an opening for ITB. 40 seconds is a lot of time to work with, and this pressure in blue is going to be agonizing. Spots the Grim, and Creeds wins that fight.
Grim is so good for taking blue control on this site.
Left in DBNO, though, an aggressive push, stuck with utility, and Deadshot Mowgli fire off. Leave it all down to Noah in 1 versus 3.
Spot for the
This is unwinnable.
right now. You know that there's one player playing on box. Your down teammate's not ready.
Good round from Mowgli. I want to go back and see that Kiba. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'm just like behind the curve and everybody knows about this, but Okay, you can't really tell. Like, it's hard to see because it's the same color as the floor, but there's a little pipe or something jutting out here.
Inside, of dirt tunnel.
That's got to be pixel perfect, because if it's too high or too low, it's going to be, like, the wrong angle.
Now, and the keeper barriers reach.
Cool.
In right now, pick. This is map number 1 of a best of 3.
You just meant in general, like on cafe to clear rice while someone pushes prep? Yeah, I could see that
We'll
working.
see. For the 4th time on this map, the basement will be.
I think typically in those situations, though, the problem is, like, instead of bringing a Ying and Candeling above and forcing the player to run away, you just bring a Buck and you just kill the player.
I believe the Buck on the hands of Deadshot, so there's the only difference in terms of lineup that what we're seeing, and that will be subbed out for that Dokkaebi. So ITB, strong defense,
Wake up at 4 a.m.
Get themselves level, 3-3 split.
Wait, Esports World Cup starts at 4 a.m.? That's actually, there's no way that's true. Because it's basically EU time zone.
Historically, and people would say Wolves would be the favorite. Obviously, with a couple of roster changes, Bibu no longer being here.
What does
Shinka as
Wikipedia
well.
say?
They are big losses for the
Wikipedia
Wolves.
does not know.
I've been pretty impressed by Asa. Asa going 9-4 is having a hell of a game, but maybe those roster changes. Maybe there wasn't enough time for Wolves to get fully prepared for this. You don't know how many scrims they've had with this iteration, so ITB's consistency might just give them the upper hand here on their defense.
Schedule.
All it puts the maybes for the
What is it,
time
like
being,
week
though, until we see how
6?
this opening round does play out.
Week
Thatcher
7?
being brought out
Week
inside of
5?
Wolves, that
Week
will make
5.
things so much easier.
4 a.m.?
Oh, the hands are grim.
No
Really
way.
does get that established.
No way.
Noah,
What?
a little bit more pressure on
Okay,
ITB.
day 1 it starts at 4 a.m., day 2 it starts at 9 a.m. Why is that such a huge difference? Day 3 it's on at 9 a.m., day 4 it's on at 9 a.m., and then the championship Sunday starts at 10 a.m. So it's only the very first day that Siege starts at 4 a.m. Every other day it starts at 9 a.m., which is more realistic. I don't know why they're starting so early on Wednesday.
Do not give it pick up for free.
Yeah, 5 a.m. for, yeah, I'm talking mountain time. So it starts at 3 a.m. Pacific and then 6 a.m. Eastern. This match was to qualify to the Esports World Cup. Okay, we swapped sides. 3-3 is not bad for Wolves, but not great. You're pretty happy if you're ITB, I think, here. They have man advantage, defending on Clubhouse. They got good toxic babes. Wolves brought the Thatcher instead of the IQ. Does the same thing, slightly worse guns. But still a good answer. Means that you don't have to bring impact EMPs, so you get an extra set of can openers on your Grim instead of EMPs on your Grim. And it means your really Wolves lineup I think just has a little bit more safety if the Habana dies. And they can bring flashes on their Buck too, which is nice.
Gets one of his own traded off by Kenny. Asai gets warm, that's Kenny off the board. Kaid doesn't last too long, and P4.
Okay, Azure's kind of trolling in that.
35 advantage with Wolves.
He should have heard him in the barb, no?
Find something, need a reply soon. It needs to happen. Noah finds it, needs to make
wow, good shot from Lasmu.
Lesbo's there for it.
Honestly, in that situation, I wish Noah had just sprinted past the angle. Because Lasmu's gonna have advantage in that shot.
Think that you can long arm this one. An angle should be available here.
Yeah, Lasmu full advantage in this round now.
Dance here, very technical dance between these two sides. See which one will be the first.
I don't think it's a fundamentally terrible round of basement from ITB. They kind of just lost their fights. Lasmu's like, I am not gonna fight you there, little bro. Lasmu plays that perfect.
Hopeful optimism, perhaps, that he could find a moment there, but doesn't line up.
You've gotten used to 3-3, you're getting thrown off by 6-6. I'm the same way. My brain is like broken from 3-3 now.
ITB, it was close. You know, Noah finding that pick, the all-important one as well. Got caught in that crossfire from bottom main stairs. You just gotta feel very narrow.
If they want a day of games to be viewable in EU and NA, they need to play it in the middle of the night local time. No, they don't. Saudi Arabia is like 2 hours off of Germany. They don't need to play at the middle of the night for it to be viewable in Europe and NA. They just play late night Europe, early morning NA. Which is what they're doing for every day except for their first day. because their first day they probably have like 12 hours of games, so they have to start it, they have to start it at a bad time for NA, but it'll finish at a good time for NA, and it'll be good time for EU start to finish.
But of course, none of those operators are being brought by the defensive side.
When do playoffs for Esports World Cup start? I think it's Friday. Not this Friday. The first Friday of August. Friday the 2nd. I think Wednesday, Thursday are groups, and then I think playoffs are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My dark horse for Esports World Cup? Honestly, Talon. I love their roster moves. I think their strats are really good. They're a little bit default, perhaps, as a team. But, like, I don't know. I really like the way they're playing. Even in that OSA analysis, like, I think they had some of the better OSA plays compared to, like, a lot of other teams. So I like Talon as a dark horse. Luminosity are going to knock out some good teams. They're not going to win, but they're going to knock out some good teams.
I think they're going to, as soon as they open this breach, I think they're going to Zof open that bathroom wall as well. Maybe not.
Gibby, right, stop making predictions. They were probably gonna.
And then I don't know if this counts as a dark horse, but like Liquid have a really good chance of making grand finals.
Maybe not. Back off that one.
And winning.
As well, though. I mean, again, going aggressive off that breach is a great way to upset the flow and rhythm of a defensive team. Cause a little bit of chaos, and in those moments, you can find greatness. P4.
I will be doing Esports World Cup predictions next week. Monday or Tuesday, I haven't decided.
Send up that storm, but it's Oscar finding two. Are you kidding me, ITB?
My favorite way I've seen a team rush this bomb site is I forget who it was. But they literally just Amaru'd in the main stairs window, and with the shotgun and shit, it might have been Ashen, shit on everybody. I did then see another team do that, and then they jumped right into a dread mine and died. So you kind of need the enemy team not to be running a Fenrir there. But I think having main stairs pressure just makes that push so much happier. Makes that rush so much happier.
We are going to sprint into the breach, but they're playing into the breach, and that'll work for them. They get one, they get the double with Oscar. He ended up getting a triple on the round, but the sides are level.
For a 12-hour day, you have to start before 11 local, which isn't going to be a good time for the US. Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, if you have a 12-hour day, there's no time you can run it, which is going to be good for EU and NA.
Now the real question is going to be which of these sides is going to take the advantage of that last round.
Right, if I'm ITB,
For the whole thing, at least. Obviously, you can have, like, most of it be good for EU and NA, which they are. Because if you started it at a time that was, like, reasonable for the Pacific coast of NA, it would finish at, like, the middle of the night. It would finish way too late for Europeans to watch. Are Beast Coast not going to the Esports World Cup? Nope. Those fuckers lost. They lost to Sonics and were eliminated in the qualifiers. And then Sonics didn't even qualify themselves. So, yeah, Beast Coast had a rough qual. I wish I could tell you why, but those games were not streamed, so I can't even explain why.
Getting breaches open should be pretty easy for the attacking side. You've got Thatcher, you've got Thermite, you've got the can openers and Ace. So I see there should be nothing that ITB can really do to get this done. They'll open.
I forget what Gunner said. We did talk to Gunner about why they lost to Sonics.
Yeah, there you go, Sophia. A little bit
No news on Geo, no.
to do it instead. But here we go. Here's the push, and they open it up on both sides at the same time, meaning that
Alright, another CCTV cache with no... They're just like, yeah, with no Wamai, no Doc. So I anticipate Capitao is going to absolutely shit on Azure here. Azure probably should die without getting a kill. They do have Kendrew. If Kendrew can play aggressive here, he might be able to, like, kill someone or get a Capitao kill or something. But with these walls being opened up, man, it's going to be tough. I think this goes to Wolves. I also think this game ends 7-4, so I think it has to go to Wolves, but... Yeah, I think EU is just a little bit behind on the club meta right now.
minute and 40 seconds to go now. They'll open up inside of Secret, or Adam as some people like to call it now, in that position to just make it sure that no defenders and rotate around there. This is the maze they have to solve though.
Like, Azami is good on Rafters, don't get me wrong.
Playing inside of Rafters,
But it doesn't do shit for you if they just light you on fire with Capitao.
would need to peak. So both these players need to make sure that
We'll see. The first Capitao bolt missed. The second one,
they peak and sync. Here comes
yeah, okay.
Azami steps a little bit further.
Honestly, this Capitao fireballs didn't really do shit. I don't like that they put one for the Goyo and one for the Azami. Like,
Yet Stone isn't gonna be able to get
you
the
gotta
kill
use
this
both
time
on one
around, but
player.
Kenny is there to get that one as the kill will go to Mowgli. Another stun grenade thrown, but the player's not really in the position to take advantage of it.
That Goyo counts to the top of the stairs as well. A massive
now it's really awkward. Your Capitao kind of fucked this up. Mowgli on the Capitao is a crazy pick, by the way.
Finding one, finding two. A DB and O left. That's going to be a side. It's going to be pressure now arriving. The Loner's army up top.
Azure should be good for like one more kill here.
Someone's lurking all the way down in
Never
the
mind.
top for the breach. Lasmo finding two.
Never mind. He gets absolutely shit on by Azo.
Stress now.
And then Lasmu finds the kill.
They should get that confirmation.
Good coordination. Oscar's in a very aggro spot. Especially given that he has a C4. It's like, it's such a bad position, to be honest, that he gets 2 kills off of it just off pure unexpectations. Just like pure surprise factor. Holy shit, he is playing fucking nuts. If he just doesn't swing though there, obviously he, you know, plays a little bit better.
He didn't need to peek.
That was a fun round from Oscar. Honestly, that's like a put my dick on the table type of round from Oscar.
Almost pulled off a hell of a play. The fact that he was baiting the down teammate to get the kill on the rafters to hide his position was a genius play.
Eddie!
Then he won his one with a play on the right.
How the hell did LG qual? You should have played and stopped us from qualling.
He got a bit too aggressive, and Wolves take the
That's
lead
funny.
once more. 5-4 the score, and this game is
Gunner said that
a hell of
Sonic's
a
heavily
lot
counter-stratted them.
better
Right, that
than
makes
what we saw
sense.
in our previous matchup.
I think all 12 rounds.
No, I'm telling you, LG are going to take some games off some good
Going back
teams.
to the basement now. 5th time we've seen this site played.
What's the bracket for Esports World Cup real quick? Hold on. LG play against Bliss. They're going to beat them. Then they play Liquid. I'm a Liquid believer. I don't know if they win that. Oh, then it's likely to be like LG versus Space Station in the lower semi. Like, that's a game LG could win. And honestly, even against Liquid, in a best of one especially, LG could win that game too.
It would make things so much easier considering the prevalency we've seen of that Kaye played by Kenny so far.
Yeah, I think LG make top 8. I think their bracket is like pretty doable for that. They get to avoid BDS, which is nice. And then they just have to beat like
when they get that opportunity to control, and Noah extended
they just basically have to beat one of Liquid or Space Station or W7M, which I think they do. I'm taking it for granted they beat Bliss.
It's part of
Sorry,
the
Bliss.
ABCs of flow.
Maybe Bliss with their new coach are powered up to be a goated team, and they will catch LG off guard, but I don't expect it.
Players up to the roof to clear this map, floor by floor. Now, as you said, Noah could just be a problem if he don't.
Talon might beat Liquid? Let's not get too crazy.
I don't think that they'll fall into that trap.
Maybe. It's possible, man. In BO1, it's so possible.
Well, 45 seconds gone, and as we can see, not very much has happened. Footsteps will be heard.
Entryway made, the entrance through that jacuzzi wall, straight out towards Jim. We see those silhouettes of ITB players.
What's
in
my
that light
favorite
blue
map?
lurking upstairs. First
To
trip
watch?
happens, that's down the Kenny on
Probably
that
Night
Kaye.
Haven.
The boogie drone sent in to rig
I really
up
like
the
watching Night
floorboards
Haven
in the
recently.
kitchen and try and maneuver these
I like
players
watching
around.
Consulate
Like
too,
moving
and
up
the
this
new maps are
avenue
just
as
good to
well,
watch,
just on top of
in
main
my
stairs.
opinion.
And now there's not a lot of safety inside of sight, especially above that B shaft.
I really
Work
respect
with
like
for
Clubhouse.
ITB.
There's like
Again,
3 like
so
old maps in my
you
mind
deal
in the
with that
pool.
pressure.
Clubhouse,
Julian
Oregon,
Miles will really
and
take those steps so
Cafe.
fertilized to be
Like
close
those are the
to
3
and
oldest
feel
maps in the
call
pool.
support
Chalet's
rising
kind of
inside
old,
of
Border's kind of
Blue.
old, but they're
Very
both newer than
dangerous
those 3.
angle, and that's gonna be Mowgli getting one for free.
I think
After
Oregon and
starting
Cafe have
preparation,
gotten like so
all
boring and
field
stale to
across
watch.
just over
Clubhouse
the
is
net
still
to work
interesting to
with
me.
an early advantage now
I
for
just think there's
Wolves.
so many like little mini games that like the meta just like
No clue
every
that
update the
that's
meta
where
changes so
player
much.
was. Mowgli will pick up what is essentially a free kill.
Clubhouse might
Player
just be
of
like the
his
perfect
caliber.
map.
Still
I don't know what to
blue
say.
silhouette
It's so good.
inside of rafters as Deadshot now will begin looking to clear them.
So extra special shout out to Club for being so old and still so fun to watch.
Noah will find himself one. Noah almost Deadshot, but Deadshot will keep in the game. 3 versus 4 now. Buck can begin creating verticality, but has enough time been wasted by
People
ITB?
doubting APAC in the year of our Lord 2024. I'm like the least APAC doubter too. I literally hype up fucking Talon and Bliss so much.
30 seconds, and well, Wolves might have one more player. The time begins to compress.
But, like, we gotta be
into
real.
a mad scramble. 25 to work.
I'm the motherfucker who
So
said that
much
Talon could win
control,
SI,
but
alright?
Moto Hatch has not opened up, and they finally opened up blue. But that might be a red herring to
But
try
I
and
think their
draw
potential has
ITB
yet to really
away
be
from the
reached.
focal point of this push, arriving from that kitchen hatch. Crossfire held from bottom main. Critical for this is a timer.
Wow, did he get that shot? No, he didn't. Oh, he did! Dude, last bullet before Creed's life was snagged away from him, he hit that shot. That was a beauty shot. My analysis of this game is that Wolves are really, really, really good at executing. Like, Wolves, especially on the basement, they're very together. They're hitting their shots.
Yeah, basement's not been a fun place for both of these teams today. Only one defensive round, one so far on basement. And now Wolves are 1 round away from a map advantage in this best of 3 series. ITB are going to go to Jim.
Talon beat BDS last major. That's true. Fabian just owns Shaiko. I hate to say it.
And ITB were perfectly set up for it. This time, they've made some changes to the lineup. This time, they're bringing Mira instead of the Castle, and they're bringing the Bandit as they look to keep that.
No, I'm excited for Lair to come into the pool. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be so fun to watch.
Wolves will essentially, or you expect them to go for a different approach on this attack.
Fabian's vibing with the South Korean culture.
Thatcher's a good call. You've got the Thermite, you've got the Ace. They've got the setup
Yeah.
they need to put pressure on the site from all sides.
I mean, I know for a fact Fabian's had like a lot of trouble learning the language is the only counterpoint I would say to that. Like, I think he's basically, from what I've heard, Fabian's basically given up on learning Korean. I think he did try, but he just like couldn't do it. But I haven't heard Fabian say anything bad about like the players' like work ethic or like I've heard nothing but good things about like the work ethic on that team and like their culture and, you know, how they want to play. Which, like, for a lot of teams in non-traditional Big 3 regions, you don't hear the same thing. People talk a lot about, like, the culture of players in Oceania and, like, Mexico and, like, Southeast Asia, where, like, outside of the big teams, like, ignoring Bliss and Bleed and all them, basically just ignoring those 2 teams. Yeah, throw Fury in there, too, maybe. Yeah, I've just heard a lot of bad things about the culture. And I even have heard, like, bad things about the culture in, like, Korea, but, like, I don't know. You look at teams like Sandbox, who have just been so bad for so long, and it's just, like, I don't know. I think for Sandbox, if you wanted to improve, they would have. They've been playing against high-level teams for so fucking long. But I've heard nothing but good things about the players' work ethic on PSG Talon. I should make a YouTube video doing predictions for Esports World Cup. I will definitely do a stream. I want to make it into a YouTube video. Maybe I'll do it on Monday and I'll get it edited on Tuesday. That way it's out like literally Tuesday night, right before the Esports World Cup. Maybe I do the stream Monday, edit it Monday night, get it out for Tuesday morning. I'll talk to my editor, see if that's doable. Because it would be nice to get it on YouTube. Pangu said they tried for a bit and then said fuck it, the players speak English. Yeah. Yeah, that's literally what I'd heard as well. Content like TMV and Slingy from Valorant. I don't know who the fuck that is. Thinking Man's Valorant.
Not open yet. It means that you've got to take on that gunfight a little bit more of a one-on-one style. Still keeping an eye on all those drones. You can see Garage is still clear.
I googled Slingy and the first thing that popped up was a Wired video called "How This Guy Mastered the Slinky."
On the window with the C4s ready as well. Azur gets his one, but Ace is there to trade it back. Creeds will take down Razmu, but there is Asa once more. A double for him on the round. Player on the window. Asa gets a triple. P4 wins it out, and Wolves will take the first map. And well, I've not seen much of Asa, but what a game he has just put together on Clubhouse. Huge performance from the newbie.
From the opening round as well, being the lifeline for the team that they couldn't quite convert, to opening up that round, a massive performance from the new player to this Wolves roster as well. But
Why do I hate the trans woman operator? I think she is a dog shit operator for many reasons, Fluke. You missed the analysis stream.
Yesterday, ITB did show their class, a great opening half, and then especially on the space with attack showing how clinical they can be. Just didn't work out. They couldn't.
But the gist of it is she's not good at what she does. She doesn't adapt very well. And you have to put so much into like actually playing her, like running a very specific strat built completely around her. That on 90% of maps, basically every map except for Bank, she's just not worth it. She's an operator who's very good in theory, has a lot of cool ideas. None of them work well in practice, with like the sole exception being like Bank Basement Garage. You agree she is shit because you didn't get the part of voicing her? Damn right. That would have been a buff.
So basically, what it's talking about, once upon a long time ago, when you could only change one attacker on the lineup, and it was usually a race.
I'm also homophobic.
Well,
Yes.
there was like a timed
True.
button press to be able to get it. But every attacker now, of course, is able to
No.
change. in the lineups. The Flores
This is actually would be a good round to run an Osa. I wonder if they will.
How much utility that those Rotero drones are able to clear up, the amount of soft destruction that they are able to provide.
Nope.
The curious one for me.
Oh, they will. Mowgli jumps on it. All right, let's put this to the test then. So, Osa should have frag grenades here. Mowgli should have frags. Observer, can we see the util observer? Observer, observer, observer. Can we see the util? Observer, observer, observer. Thank you. Good. Frag grenades will be used to destroy the bulletproof camera that got put inside of Garage. There is currently nobody in Garage, so Osa gets all of that space for free. Mowgli's going to start by droning. This is something that Diffuser, I kind of talked on this in my analysis segment, but Diffuser, when he plays Osa on this bomb site, literally spends like 2 minutes at the start of every round just droning. Like droning his team to help clear the rest of the map. I don't love this. Oh, he was destroying some util, okay. Oh, okay, there's a dread mine. I didn't see that. Alright, this is fine. But yeah, Diffuser just spends like 2 minutes outside of Garage just droning like the whole round. And then like last second we'll like push in, take Garage, and like hold the angle. Which is fine. Did Mowgli leave? He looks pretty deep from that outline. It looks like he left his shield way at the back. I don't love that. I mean, most teams only use one Osa shield deep in Garage anyways. But I did watch players, I forget who it was, but there were players who would use 2 separate shields around the pillar, right where Mowgli is. They'd use like one back here and then one like over to the other side. Damn, he's pushing hella deep though. Did he use a nade for the BP? He did. He lost his very first gunfight. That's unfortunate.
That's a fantastic defense. Just the way they walked Wolves into the lying trap, and now P4.
I think he thought he saw a gap, but he did not actually see a gap. There might have been a Valcam on that, or maybe they heard him, or maybe it was just a nasty shot from Oscar. We didn't really get to see. But I think Mowgli thought he had a gap there, and he did not.
Go to ITB on the defense here on Bank, and a very clinical round yet again from them.
Clipping that to send to Parker, he might like you. Listen, as long as it's not more fucking F1 chat in the talent group chat, I'm happy for it. For those who were not in Parker's stream earlier today, Parker and I were complaining about how the Europeans always talk in the group chat about like F1 and soccer and all this other Garbo bullshit. And then Emmy put in the group chat right after, how about that hockey? Emmy, can you name me one NHL hockey team? without Googling?
I can tell what you're watching.
I would be impressed if you can.
I was watching Formula 1, mate. You know this.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah. But anyways, in this game, it's the perfect start to bank for ITB. Yes, you're on defense. You're expected to win. You know, more
Interesting,
defensive
Kane.
rounds than you lose. But after the last matchup, after the way their defense
Edmonton Oilers, the best team. Let's go! Correct answer. 2025 Stanley Cup champions, don't you forget it.
attacking lineup, very similar actually with what we saw in the previous game. BDS Mowgli.
Hell yeah.
Utilizing Deimos to try get
And watch this, watch this. Max Verstappen.
Like a shot, he's already inside the map.
I also know European European sport
Relying on the rest of the team to get
legends.
red pings, identify pass. Oh, it's gonna be nearly a freebie.
This is
Reducing
Lightning
odds to
slander.
29
Lightning are
XP.
old and just lost their fucking captain. All right.
Forced to fall back just
Enjoy
a
your
bit
Stanley
late.
Cups
Very
from
good
a
early
couple
run
years
out.
ago and
An investment
get ready for
into the later rounds.
2 decades of rebuilding,
Oscar
because that's
will
what's
not
coming
be
up for you.
keen to take aggressive fights. He has been able to win time and time again. Of course, Deimos has that death mark available.
All right, open area on Bank. I haven't watched Bank in a long time, I won't lie. Other than doing that like VOD review for the OSA video, I really have not watched much Bank at all.
Silhouette right beside that window as well, and surely the voices, he's on a drone, the hot point's bound to come, it's going to get traded straight away.
You're happy about that. You're very happy about that if you're Creeds. You took down the OSA real quick. Did they? Probably not. No, that's all hard breach.
The most disruptive
That's
player
all your
in
hard
the
breach?
first matchup between
Is
these
stock hatch
two
open by the
sides.
defenders? I assume it is. I mean, they've got a smoke playing
That's
stock.
true.
They must have
You
opened
probably
stock
would take
hatch.
that one every
No, he's
day.
playing janitor.
You definitely
I
are.
think
Logic
stock
ball
hatch is
through
closed.
round, handed out
All right,
by
they just lose this
T4.
round now.
One for everybody in the audience for ITV.
Insane to me that Deadshot didn't bring
Again, Mobley
cans.
charging in, looks to be aggressive with
Like,
this.
can openers are so good just as like a backup. And like flashbangs on Buck is like, you know, they're useful, but they don't feel like a must win. A must take.
Mowgli does get one. Finding Oscar later in the round.
ITB have to play like really passive here. They should recognize they killed the fucking ace. Stock hatch is closed. Square wall is like mostly closed, if not fully closed. I don't know if they've reinforced every panel. I think they did.
Advantage numerically sits with Wolves.
Remember, those cameras can be gotten as well. They've got IQ to get the information, and you've got Dokkaebi, who is able to get access to
Just
those
play your
defender
site, use your
cameras
toxic
that are able to
babes, use your
access
Kiba
one of the
barriers.
dead bodies of the opposition side.
I still think
Oh,
ITB win this round.
up very close
I still
to
think
that
they're in a
small
better
box.
position right now, even though it's
Now
3v4.
smoke at the ready.
Because you know they're only going to come from like 3 different doorways.
Through that double door. Now, I think that's the
Maybe
one
the printer
bit
window,
too
too.
early, but, you know, the fact that there is BPs there, or those
Okay,
metal
one of
detectors to
the
read that
walls
information,
is
but look at
soft
this.
on open area, but I think they're smart enough not to go there anyway on Wolves.
But still standing
One
on
is
feet.
printer window, one's going to come
Might find
beepers,
that
and then
pressure
one's going to
rising along
come
with
drop the
Kincaid,
janitor
just
hatch.
gonna disrupt the flow and make Wolves a little bit uneasy with that one. Mowgli's good for it, and that C4 shot out mid-air. Great reaction
Alright,
time
well,
from Deadshot. Leave it all down to 3 versus
Chat,
1.
sometimes you
No one
strategically
else
do
might
everything
stand
correctly and
there.
then
That
whiff all
people
your
should give
shots.
some critical information, but the cover needs to be
Sometimes
good.
Mowgli just comes in and shoots you in the head. That's unfortunate. Where the fuck is Noah?
Noah will find one.
I feel like Noah's kind of baiting here. He probably should have been in the site actually helping to fight things, but we didn't really see what happened to him, so
And the
I
lower
won't be
set
too
is gonna
harsh.
play some marble. Can't waste too much time. That diffuser goes critical soon. There's those flashbangs. Fully blinded, have to force a retreat at this moment. Might catch a
The
player
latest
in the
European
way.
trend is Yamal. I've never heard that name in my life. Sorry.
He looks to make one single tap, but he looks the wrong way. P4 swings out wide. Wolves get themselves around and draws level.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good bounce back or rebuttal by the side of Wolves to make that 1 round apiece. So now we go to round 3. Halfway is almost through the defensive half for ITB. Top 4 will be the defensive site of choice this time around. Defensive
What's up,
lineup
fresh?
has been
Now we're
locked
just
in.
VOD reviewing.
A lot
I'm not
of
still
activity
yapping about Osa.
has been
No.
utilized. You know, we're seeing stuns being thrown aplenty, so I think
No, we're not still going on Osa.
probably
Although there was an Osa that got played in this game by Mowgli. Very
But the
poorly.
big one for me is the information game.
No, I still wanted to stream, and I didn't want to play Siege. So we're watching this. Because I haven't watched a single Wolves game since they picked up their players. So I decided to watch this game.
Motion detectors in the pocket of Wamai is going to feed a lot of information.
I think the Osa bit was about an hour.
big important thing with that whippet is not giving away easy picks. and
It
being
felt
able
long.
to
Maybe it wasn't
utilize
quite an
that
hour. Maybe a bit
information
under. Maybe 45
correctly.
minutes.
You know, don't go chasing stuff that's not there.
We'll see. I'll have it edited down to a YouTube video and see what the length ends up being. I don't mind if it's long. I don't mind if it ends up being like a 30, 45 minute YouTube video.
In this matchup, and what a scalp to take if they can get victory over Wolves. Of course, for either of these teams, victory here, or defeat here, I should mention, is not the end of the road to make it to the Esports World Cup. They do have one more chance tomorrow in a best-of-3 against Team Secret.
Oh, we're back on the OSA, and we took Mowgli off of it. Okay, probably a similar idea with the OSA. Oh no, it's actually completely different. So this is something that not a single. So I didn't talk about this in my stream, but this is going to be a server OSA push where you're basically using OSA just like a Monty, and you're trying to plant inside of server. Not a single team in Manchester tried this. I think it's really bad. Not a single team that brought OSA actually used the OSA shield in server to plant. I assume that is what ASA is going to try to do here. Oh, wait. Oh, this is open area. This is CEO. Okay. Chad, I'm literally losing my mind. Ignore me. I thought we were back to the basement. We're going top floor. So, teams did do this. We'll see if it's a square OSA take or CEO windows. No Capitao, no smokes at all. Makes me think this is probably a square take with OSA. Rather than like a, we're all going to jump in windows, smoke everything, grim everything. Ah, it might be windows. They do have the Zoe and the Grim, and they have a buck for below. No, it's square. Alright. Yeah, I think doing a CEO window take without a Capitao feels kind of sad. I think Capitao is honestly still good here. I wonder if Capitao is just like underutilized in Europe, because I feel like it's been used a lot very successfully in NA. But I don't know. Dog shit operator still! As I said many fucking times, one of the biggest problems with OSA is that her fucking shield is not wide enough when you're holding it. That's such a stupid way for OSA to die. Because you did everything right in theory. Your whole plan was correct. They didn't beat you with like an impact or like playing down below. Your gadget just fucking sucks. And your gadget just doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It's the stupidest thing about OSA, man. God, that's such a perfect example of why OSA is so bad. Even on a bomb site that I said OSA's pretty good on.
A little bit of a bait and switch, but Lazmu was ready, and now they've only got 9 seconds left. They've got information. That's a ton of damage.
We did talk about that weakness of OSA, obviously. We talked about it in regards to the clubhouse round from Mentalist.
And it is just Wolves starting to stretch out there.
Maybe I am still going on OSA.
Oh, so similar to the previous game on Bank we saw between BDS and Secret.
Yeah,
let me fill up my water real quick.
A little bit closer from this. I think Wolves and ITB on this map.
Actually, you didn't. Buck should have removed that guy before OSA takes in the bomb. What? I don't think you do that execute planning on having janitor cleared. You want to pressure janitor, throw bees and stuns, and usually you'd smoke it. I'm not surprised they didn't smoke it. But I think usually on that push you don't want to clear. You don't care to clear janitor. I'll fill my water.
Window didn't work out his way. Narrow margins between these teams, but Wolves just able to edge it out yet again. ITB opting for the basement site second time. Well, Joe here, you see a Vigil in play, and Azza has decided to dom that Boss G. The very effective weapon, as we mentioned, popularised during the Manchester Major by Beast Coast. Used it to great success. Will we see that again in play from ITB this time?
They've ruined ranked. Whenever you have a good game of ranked, it's just somebody's going to bring the Boss G and ruin it for everybody. Yeah.
I'm so hungry.
Who won the course B at EWC because Beast Coast.
I didn't realize it. I got up to fill my water bottle. I'm like weak. I need food. We'll finish this map and then I'll end stream.
Bet was an incredible coach. Honestly, so entertaining as a fan of Siege to see how he interacted with his players, but of course,
Maybe I'll grab some
longer
Triscuits.
coaching
I'll be right
Siege,
back.
he's gone off to work.
No
I believe someone said in the engineering
Because
world,
supper will taste better after stream if I don't eat now.
hangover from the major definitely impacting them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you mentioned that there are other qualifiers
Bank is like the
happening
best
already.
map in the game for Osa. It's also the best map in the game for Zero. I don't know what about it is. I think it's just so fucking big. It's also a great map for Kali. Osa's just got so many like big ass rooms. Like lobby is fucking huge, garage is fucking huge. It allows for a lot of non-traditional operators. It's honestly, oh wow, that's a great fucking fall off of open area. I feel like Bank is like one of the most interesting maps in the pool. And it's just so unique, I feel. There's so many operators that have a home on Bank that if Bank wasn't in the map pool, would never get fucking played. I mean, Kalia gets played on a couple other maps, but as does Osa. But I think that like they're most effective here on Bank.
Play the rest of this round with, and that becomes a problem when you think about the impact that the smoke
I should probably change my title because we're no longer talking about Osa.
to eke away damage at the book without putting yourself at risk. So really important that they get a lot of value out of that Twitch drone. You're looking at those Goyo canisters being the main thing that they'll be able to deal with. But this is
These are EWC quals. You're making burgers. Oh my god, that sounds so good. I'm gonna make chicken bacon ranch wraps after this.
They get themselves an early pick, a DBNO, which Deadshot has been recovered from, but that leaves him on only 20 HP, so a single round will be enough to shut him down. Noah will find himself pressured from service tunnel. That one player drops, Noah gets a critical pick there. Will find himself traded.
I don't think. I mean, this is an interesting hold too. So obviously, like it's a hold that has utility for the basement, such as the Kiva barriers and the Evil Eyes, but it's also focused on like getting kills on the roam, as you saw the two players in open area do so. I mean, you can't play a vigil on this bomb site and not try to go for kills on the roam. I was about to say its one downside is it doesn't really have much plant denial.
Oh, a calamity down in server.
And obviously, like, it does have a lot of plant denial. It's got Evil Eyes, it's got Toxic Babes, it's got Goyo canisters. The biggest thing is no C4s. So if the Toxic Babes aren't there, and the Goyo canisters get popped ahead of time, which they mostly did, and your Evil Eye isn't able to see shit, you don't have any, like, very flexible plant denial. Right, Evil Eyes and Goyo canisters are both very. Ah, you lose.
They're on the case. The drop is there. Lasmu gets himself a double, and the final few shots. What a round!
I think you had one player. I liked that strat. You had one player with a C4, or you like just use your Toxic Babes a bit better. I think it goes a lot better for you.
Absolutely fantastic so far.
Because I think that was an interesting push that got kills on the roam, that wanted to fight inside a server. You fought in all the places you wanted to fight, and you were successful in all those places you want to fight. You just fucked up the plant denial there. Add a C4 into sight there, and I think that's a great little setup. Give Goyo a C4 again. That's my take.
Time to throw a tourniquet on and stop the bleeding. Just feels like it's difficult day in the office yet again.
Wolves are so impressive though, like, honestly, like I said it before in the last map, the decision to drop Bibu and Shinka was not an easy one. Like when you think about how good Bibu had been for this roster for years, obviously, even back before they flew under the Wolves banner, and Shinka as well has been in the scene a long time.
Asa and Lasmu, I still don't really know what to think about them.
They brought in Asa, who has been incredible. Lasmu.
Asa had great stats map 1, but I think he got a lot of impactless kills. And now map 2 he's starting 1 and 4, but his team is winning. Asa is weird. It's like when Asa does well, Wolves do not. And when Asa struggles, Wolves win rounds. I don't know what to think about him. Lasmu has been very good this map especially. I like Lasmu.
Big shoes to fill, not just in terms of performance, but of course.
Asa, I don't know. Asa's a weird one.
Doing a great job so far, being a critical attribute for this side that's getting them closer and closer, earning their key for the Esports World Cup. Hopefully it's not crushed too early if they do make it there. sorting out that pressure close towards that window. Or that balcony door, I should say. Wolves, once again, still probing ITB. You just gotta feel maybe a risk-adverse ITB.
Oh, he's tracking the vigil. That's what it
Can't see
was.
that opening pick yet again.
Looked like a magnet. I was trying to figure out. I'm like, there's no Wamai on the board. No, so he saw this. He saw the vigil with the IQ scanner and then tried to get a kill. I see. Dealt 70 damage. Feels pretty good.
Plenty of 3 and 2 armors on the side of ITB, which will give him that little bit extra HP. But if Wolves continue to hit headshots like they've been doing, it will not matter. Asa with the case playing on Ace, looking at how they can approach open air. Now, when you see Ace in this position, you think get the breach open and then get that quad wall open in some degree as well to give you an angle in towards open area. But whip it, look at the position of P4. He's again just waiting for someone from ITB.
Full top floor control now. Creed's is in kind of an awkward spot, because if he doesn't come in and get a kill, he's not very useful during the execute. So he wants to do something before this execute, or he's got to flank during the execute. But if he flanks during the execute, that's going to be really readable. Ah, okay, there's the play. It's not from Creed's, but Oscar gets a C4 and shoots Mowgli in the head. Oscar's fucking nasty, bro.
Very quickly, this game can turn around. A quick drop now, straight on the side.
Again, though, their execute utility on the defense is not the strongest.
Right away, Kenny retorts. Advantage now, back with ITB. He needs to find one more to really cripple this attack from Wolves, and he's done so.
I think it's good enough, though.
Last move alone.
I don't think Asa wins this. This is what I'm saying when, like, Asa gets so many impactless kills.
Is down. Time pressure all with ITB.
Like, he got basically 3 kills that round. It's only going to count as 2 on a stats sheet. But they don't come in very impactful moments. I don't know. They're just coming in rounds where they lose. I think his first kill was impactful, getting into the site. His second one was not, and his third one basically was not. So weird. I don't think players who get impactless kills are, like, inherently bad players or anything. But you just need to, like, keep it in mind. At the end of the day, he's, like, hard support. I don't expect him to... I don't need him to be getting a ton of kills. I just would be wary of people who are like, Asa's great. He gets so many kills despite being a support. I would be wary of anybody who says that. Because I do think the kills haven't been that impactful.
Sometimes you see them do incredible things. Sometimes you're thinking, what is the kind of thought process between what they're doing? This is a vital round. Play it safe, play it calm, good structured siege.
Do I think Lair is a good map for the map pool? I don't know how Lair is going to play. But I think that, like, any map that gets tested by pro players, as in, like, gets put into pro play, immediately gets better. Like, I'm really excited to see the Lair meta develop in a way that it just never could in ranked. You know, I think you see that with every map that comes to the map pool. Nighthaven, Consulate, even, like, Skyscraper back in the day. I think the meta on these maps just, like, evolves so much due to pro players running these maps. That I'm excited for that. I also think Oregon was, like, a really boring and stale map, so I'm glad to see Oregon gone. We'll see what Nighthaven's like. It is big. It's a lot of rooms, but Nighthaven's very big too. And Villa had a lot of useless rooms too. It's not the first map to come in that's big. It's not the first map to come in with, like, useless rooms. I expect it will be quite defender-sided, especially at the start. I think it'll become less defender-sided, but I don't know if it'll ever be attacker-sided. I doubt it will, just because it's so big. And big maps are almost never attacker-sided, but I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Do I think removing Shinka and Bibu was the move? I really hated the move ahead of time. We'll see, to be honest. My initial reaction is no, but also, I mean, they made it to EWC. So, like, maybe it's the right call. We'll see.
Up against 4, Noah shuts him down.
I haven't been convinced yet. From the game that I've watched today, and again, this is the first time I'm watching Wolves with their new players, I haven't been convinced. And my on-paper reaction is, no, absolutely not. This is a bad move.
Got it done by themselves.
Especially because, like, I just don't think that Bibu in particular was the problem. I think Bibu was a very good player. Shinka, I think, is kind of take him or leave him, but I don't know, man. Yes, 31st is the start of EWC. Thank you, Kretsu. That is correct. And then it goes till the end of the week. So I think the 31st is a Wednesday, so it's on Wednesday till Sunday.
Big thing to keep an eye on here for Wolves, the Whippet, is Castle is being brought on bank, and not only is Castle being brought, we're seeing recruits.
It's interesting how Groovy wanted time off. What do you mean? I don't think I heard about that.
Is what's being brought by recruit.
Groovy's on secret, obviously.
Super shorty out of command, though. Again,
It's just 1 week. That's correct, yeah. The Rainbow Six portion's only 1 week. Obviously, they're running like 50 different games over the course of like... I don't know if it's 8 weeks. I think it's like 8 weeks. It used to be called Gamers 8 because it was 8 weeks long. I don't know if anybody ever realized that. But obviously, each individual game is usually only like 1 week.
Do have an IQ in play. That will be Creed's. Very important to find.
Oh, Groovy left Team Secret? Wait, I completely missed that. When did that happen? 10 days ago? What the fuck have I been doing? Maybe I did hear about this and I just cut it out of my brain. That's crazy. Yeah, I liked Groovy a lot on Secret. Yeah, decided to take a break. So he's on the bench, and they're trialing new players. And they're using their academy team to try to find a new player, they said. Interesting. He was inconsistent. Let me look up my notes. Because it's hard to remember every thought I have on every player. So let me look at my Manchester notes. And see what I actually wrote about him.
This could be huge for the side of Wolves.
Deathmark arrives and a quicker reaction. Noah with that vendetta finds one of the dead shot, and that will be so desperately
back to the basement. No Osa this time.
In terms of player count. Looks like Wolves making a rotation back.
Lion for a castle, you're kind of whatever on that trade.
ITB, will they be quick enough
My
to
biggest
read
concern
into
is
that?
like ITB didn't bring a whole lot for the execute. You didn't bring a Twitch, so you're gonna struggle a little bit with these Goyo canisters. You do have nades on. You have 1 nade on Creeds, so we'll see what you can do with that. You don't have smokes for the plant. You don't have a shield of any kind. I guess Monty's banned. You don't have an Osa. My worry is they brought a lot of operators for the roam clear. Lion, Dokubi, Deimos all kind of specialize in taking out players in the roam. If they can hack the Valk cams, which they have done, that's a pretty huge win. But again, are there any useful cams? Not really. Like, they didn't bring a fucking... It seems like if there were useful Valk cams, they have been used. Yeah, the biggest issue I see is they just don't have a great answer to Goyo, especially with Creed's dead. And now they're going to be pushing really low time. They brought an operator lineup on ITB, which is very, like, an operator lineup that really wants to get kills on the roam. And they only got 1 kill on the roam. No way they finish this plant, right? No way. P4, where the fuck are we, P4? Why is it so... Oh, wait, they get the kill anyways. Alright. Fucking saved. P4 almost threw that, though. Yeah, they're fine.
It's all down to Kenny, and I think, no, the case didn't go down. My correction, 000 rise.
I feel like so often not so often, but a couple of times in this game, I've watched ITB, and I just think that, like, man, their operator lineup just, like, is missing some really important pieces.
The shots were missed. I think it was Kenny that missed the player on red who got the kill to the player getting the diffuser down.
Maybe Virtue had a fight with him. Let's gossip. Let's not. How about we don't do that? Alright, Groovy on Secret. I honestly don't have much notes on Groovy.
first round on defense. Change of location now. Top floor will be.
I literally didn't write a single thing about Gruby in Manchester. He was not a player I was writing about much. Most of my notes are on June being good. I think Savage had kind of a poor tournament.
Players on windows being a problem. That enables you to look through the long angle in towards top square.
At least in the Bliss game, Savage had a rough border.
It also allows you to be cautious of anything
I
happening
did write when I was VOD reviewing EU Stage 1 in the Fnatic game that Gruby was incapable of hitting literally any shots, which is not a great note to write.
Not the worst counter in the world. to
Was
those
it- was
Castle
it-
Bar
was
kids.
it about
I thought he
to
had some good
call out?
Grim
Oh,
plays
yeah,
back
the-
against
the
Ents
Avalanche
in
are
Stage
a
1.
very versatile
I don't have a
side.
lot of
They
notes
can
on
do
Gruby,
that
I won't
from
lie.
range as well.
But
Well,
it
the
does,
only thing
I can
say
see him
about
being
this, the
inconsistent.
only critique
There was that one
of-
game where I
of-
wrote that he
of
just, like,
just the operator
missed every
in
shot.
general is the clunkiness
World
of
Cup
that
is the
rifle when you get
31st.
towards medium range. It's a very difficult tool. Now, of course, it
Since
is
I'm watching
that one
ITB
shot
now,
you get
how
the
will
ball
ITB do against
really
Furia
no matter what the circumstance is.
and Wolves
It is
at
dangerous.
Bleed?
You
Wait,
can't
what?
underestimate it. Very talented hands, such as Kenny. It might be very valuable.
Is that the first round
Let's
matchups?
see how this works out. Again, the primary focus of this will be.
I
in
see.
that
First round
line,
matchups are
really
ITB against
distance,
Furia and
and
Wolves
the
against
jammer
Bleed.
on that
I think
counter
Furia
wall
will shit on
slowed
ITB.
down
I won't
progress
lie.
made by Hibana. I think there's a test
I
yellow
think
team
that
driving
they.
this
I mean, we are
game,
watching
but
their
they both
losing
front
game,
row in this
so
moment.
you know this is
Fury
not their
jabs
best
off that
performance,
wall,
obviously.
back as a pinch for the Echo, who might rotate out of
But they've
bounds.
struggled at international tournaments before. I think they're just a team that need a bit more time. This team has a high ceiling though. Like I want to see this team get better and improve. I'm excited for them stage 2. I expect them to make Montreal, and I really hope they come into Montreal with like a, you know, guns blazing. Montreal I think will be the real test because they're obviously like still relatively new team. You know, they didn't really show up to internet like Copenhagen or Manchester was their first ever international event, right?
Hibana's already rotated away at this moment, so again, Kanto should remain reinforced.
So like they're not in a bad spot as a team in terms of like their journey as a squad. You know, they're just still a little bit new. I think them beating Furia is probably out of reach. We said the same thing about Secret against FaZe though at the start of Manchester, and they absolutely fucked them in the map bans and ended up winning that game and then won every game in Swiss. So you never know, but I don't think ITB will take down Furia. Wolves versus Bleed will be a fun one. I don't know what to say about that game. I think
inside the round. 55 seconds now. ITB to try to find the opening pick, but not a single player has taken a single.
that game could go either way. I really don't know. I think it just matters who shows up. I think both teams can be a bit inconsistent. I think it just comes down to who shows up between Bleed and Wolves.
Kenny, who was on that position. Azar will get one. The dead shot aside. He's going to find Oscar. And ITB left to really scrap it out. It's going to be a bare knuckle brawl. And when the dust
I
settles,
told
it's
you
all down to
Collie
three.
was good on this bomb site.
Exceptional talent, but against 3 players,
Didn't
like
win,
before,
but
it's gonna be
it's still pretty
against
good.
the wall as Wolves claim that round, and they find a
Kino
little bit
likes
of
to
daylight
run
between themselves
Collie
and
on this bomb
ITB.
site, if I'm not mistaken.
Wolves now 2 rounds away from Riyadh as they look to double down on what's been a pretty good day for the French side.
First round
so
matches are
far.
BDS Cruelty. I think we all know who's going to win that one. If I was Shaiko, I'd be shaking in my boots. SSG W7M, another toss-up, but I take SSG. LG versus Bliss, LG, but Bliss could upset. It depends how good Bliss actually have gotten with their new coach, but probably LG. Talon, it's not Talon versus Bleed. Bleed play Wolves. It is Talon versus Liquid. I think you miswrote that. Liquid win that. Dark Zero versus GK. Dark Zero win that. ITB versus Furia. Again, toss. Oh no, Furia win that. Wolves versus Bleed. That's the toss-up. Gun to my head, honestly.
It's been a long time since they've heard
Bleed.
the
They've got
ITB
more
defense,
international experience.
but it's certainly still applicable.
If I have to pick one, I think Bleed are just more experienced. Lazmu and Asa haven't had any experience. At least with Bleed, their new pickup as leader, a guy who's been on LAN.
I feel there's been just a little bit of
So if I have to pick, Bleed, but I don't know who to pick there.
liked every idea that they've come up with,
And
how this
Scars
team
versus
one
FaZe,
just
FaZe.
couldn't convert on that level of creativity. They couldn't make it work. And Wolves.
I genuinely think Wolves versus Bleed is the hardest first round matchup to call.
Making ITB work and making it an uncomfortable experience to do anything and impose their will.
I think a lot of those first round matchups, though, are not going to be close.
Difficult one now. Not out of the fight
Like,
yet.
BDS Cruelty is not going to be close.
Get themselves back level in the opening
SSG
half.
W7M,
They get a few rounds
we'll
together.
see. Could be close, could be stomp for SSG. LG Bliss, same story. Could be a stomp for LG, could be close.
On the side, there'll be a nade toss. Trying to
Talon versus Liquid shouldn't be close.
I was thinking that he
That
might
was
not get a
beautiful.
Dark Zero GK won't be close. ITB Furia won't be close. Scars Phase won't be close. I guess that's what you expect for first round matchups, but yeah, a couple stinkers in there.
Nades were just a
Do I have
little
a favorite
different,
team? No.
almost a year ago
I
now.
will
They were
generally
getting back formation,
cheer for
but Kenny
teams.
agreed
If
with
I'm
Oscar,
not
I should say,
working
get in
a
the
game,
action there.
I will generally cheer for teams that play in regions that I do work. So right now I only work the North American League, so I typically cheer for North American teams internationally.
Lots of wounded players though for ITB.
But I don't have any
6
preferences
HP,
between the NA
Azra's been
teams.
recovered to 20. P4 also suffering for that low HP curse, but again, ITB has to be very careful, very select in the engagements they take within this last few minutes, or last minute I should say. Still, good position, best they've been in for a little while. Can they convert this to a round win?
Well, you look at the HP of two of the players, so they need to see if some utility.
This is very close. Again, we've had... Dude, I don't know how Oscar continuously fucking dies as the only hard breach on this site. Was it Oscar last time that did it? Or was it Wolves that did the same thing? Maybe it was Wolves that did the same thing. I don't know how these teams are like constantly only bringing Hibana as their only hard breacher. And then that Hibana always dies early, and then they can't get Janitor Hatch, they can't get the fucking wall. The square wall. No, it was Wolves that ran it last time. Both teams, okay. It's actually not as bad because the Janitor Hatch is open. And ITB win anyways. But like, it's crazy to me to not bring any can openers on this bomb site. If you drone in the prep phase that the Janitor Hatch is being opened and not reinforced, it's fine. But it's just crazy it happened twice. Do I have more faith in Space Station or Dark Zero? Dark Zero, for sure.
That one-round win is a massive boon for them. Delays Wolves getting on the championship.
You have more faith in LG than both of them?
And that is a big benefit.
I think Dark Zero are inarguably the best team in North America right now.
Might be a difficult matchup for them, stylistically, strategically.
Well, other than Beast Coast, obviously. Going to the event, I guess is what I meant. Dark Zero, I think, are North America's best chance in the Esports World Cup. The other two are Space Station. Space Station LG is kind of a toss-up of who's better. I mean, I think Space Station are probably better. Realistically, Space Station are probably a better team than LG. But I like LG. And I think LG could upset SSG if they played like... If LG and Space Station played 100 games, I think LG would win like 30, 35, 40. 35, let's say. Do I think Sonics make a comeback this year? Define comeback. Like make Montreal?
If you can control Garage and keep an eye down red and in towards the opposite site, it will enable that plan.
You have to get to that point in the round, though. We can consider getting the case down. These teams tend to find an early clash.
I don't know.
Tough
Tough to say.
Late stage where everyone's still intact. Scrappy middle round engagements have been the favor of ITB so far in these last two.
I think like there's like 5 teams that are like...
Just a little bit more
I don't
success.
know. There's so many
Once
good
the
teams in
bomb
NA, man.
goes out, the phones will ring in the back pocket of Wolves.
Like,
I think there's gonna be
okay,
shenanigans.
NA gets 4
Lights
spots
will
in
yet
Manchester,
again
yeah?
looking for some
Let's
cheap
assume
information.
Dark Zero go, because they're the most
Maybe
consistent
detecting
team,
that
maybe
Dave
like
is
ever,
rolling, or maybe detecting,
in North America. Let's assume Beast Coast go, because they won the major. They look like a great team. We can write off EWC as a fluke in the format. So that leaves 2 spots. Those last two those last 2 Montreal major spots are likely to be fought between like Space Station, Sonics, M80, maybe LG.
That you would see in this position as they're able to cover their own retreat But with the fact that there's no real denial there for utility,
Maybe oxygen.
clear that blue position very easily.
Like right now, I think those last two spots probably go to
Catch one of the players by surprise and backside.
M80 and
Have
SSG.
that option available to them.
But if
I see again,
any
the other
team
half
has
is
like a
giving
little
them
slip up,
giving themselves a
Sonics could be
variety of
right
options
there to
work
like
with.
capitalize.
Positioning the case on Elevator does send a little bit of a vibe to me that that's going to be the primary focal point of this push. The logic bombs.
Remember
go
when you
out.
were
This
in
might
third and
be
you
a
told you
little
go
bit
for
of what we
first?
need. Those flashbacks sent out the server will be some pressure, trying to bait Wolves into this, but
it's gone
ITB
poorly.
split across the map in this final minute now. Case still out towards Elevators.
Invite is,
Kenny will likely wanna make
I
that
think it's
call right at the
16
mid-tier.
global standings points and then 4 open qualifiers.
Echo's been locked onto by that death mark.
Any hope for Virtus Pro? Yeah,
Critical one to clear out as well.
lots of hope for
Pushes on
VP.
in,
I think
two
VP big
players drop
Manchester.
from that elevator, and it's going to be a cleanup for Wolves finding two. Mogi's going to compound the issue. Deadshot as well.
I know we haven't really been bothering this game as much as map 1. Honestly, my brain is like fog. I'm so tired and hungry. And chat's had interesting conversations, so apologies if you haven't been looking too closely at this game.
From server, flash grenades to distract the Wolves defense. That's why P4 was still playing on the top.
Now, here's the thing about Virtus Pro, right? I think they're a team that, like, because they play such like a perfect play style, anytime VP get like a little bit off their game, they're just gonna fall off a cliff. Because they're a team that like needs to play such like perfect siege, if they start to like falter, they're not gonna go from like the best team in Europe to like the second or third best team in Europe. They're gonna go from like the best team in Europe to like one of the worst teams in Europe, which I think is exactly what happened after SI. But now we saw in Esports World Cup, they're capable of beating really good teams. They didn't clutch up when it mattered. They still lost to BDS, but like they had to play BDS in the first round through no fault of their own. So that's a tough one. And they even beat BDS in the open quals. So yeah, I think it's more likely than not the VP are back. That's a team I have a ton of faith in. I think that team is like very smart. I think they're very talented. Once they figure out the meta and once they like kind of get back to their top form, they can shoot right back up to the best in the world.
But still, not over yet. ITB, a team that will fight to the absolute death for everything. It's not over until the scoreboard says so. They've got one more round to try and
I keep saying
alive.
Manchester instead of Montreal. Wait,
Wait,
what?
Really,
My bad.
Those two new players in particular, Lasmu.
My bad, my bad. My brain's foggy.
Can really show what they've been doing over the
What's up, Crusher?
course of the last two maps. They're locked in on this top floor defense. As
Quick
you can
question,
see from
shoot.
this Camera, long angles of sight have been created. The castle being utilized once more to create that position of safety. No Cali
I usually say, my usual fuck up is I'll say,
most of them because but
I guess I just always say old majors for new majors.
on the attacking
Because I often
side
call
either.
Manchester Major Copenhagen on accident.
Oh
Woo!
my God, good night, Azur. Goodbye,
That had to be a nasty shot. I'm sad we didn't get it from his POV.
Those last second pushes of one of those execute operators removed from the fray.
Difficult position now for
Do I think the
ITB.
new M80 roster will ever get far? I mean, apparently they're dropping noodles, so no. M80 will genuinely never be a great team because, like, they're just going to change players every fucking 6 months, guaranteed, and they'll never give anything time to click.
Deadshot falls.
It's my honest belief. Is there going to be a second phase of Pro League this year? You cannot find anything on any calendars or announcements. Yes! Alright, I'm going to answer this guy's question with Wikipedia, and then I'm going to end the stream. Stage 2 of Rainbow Six starts in September. I think the best way to find out would go to Wikipedia, click on tournaments, click on S-tier events. You can see there is an S-tier event scheduled for November. That's the Montreal Major. If you click the Montreal Major, it will give you this big box at the top here, and it will give you links to the leagues, the North American League, the European League, the Brazil League, etc. If we click North America, we get the start and end dates. They're not currently known, but we do know it's going to be September until November, or September until October, I should say. And if you go click Europe, Brazil, etc., they'll all be there as well. It is annoying that there's no like good official resource for this, but Wikipedia is really, really helpful. So September, the next stage will start. CGG, okay, buck me. First of all, you spelt CGG wrong. Second of all, CGG is currently down. CGG literally only has news articles. They don't have any actual results, which is really annoying. Apparently they're having server issues. I don't know what that means. I think they just don't want to spend the money. We'll find out soon, I guess, depending if those pages come back. And third, you can't link things in chat. Sorry about that. That's not really your fault. All right, I'm hungry. Chat, is it just that the public doesn't know the dates or talent doesn't know the dates either? I think I know the dates. Let me go make sure I'm not leaking and I'll go check. All right, I'll just leak you the talent Ubisoft group chat. Anne asked for the dates like a week ago, and Ubisoft was like, let me check to see if we have them. And then Ubisoft didn't say anything after that. So I think the dates exist, but we have not been told. We being talent. All right, chat. Thank you for watching today. If you were here for the OSA bit, I hope you liked it. Any feedback in the Discord would be greatly appreciated. But I want to do more of that stuff. I think it was well received. I think it went really well. I'm going to be trying to turn that into a YouTube video. So if you did miss the OSA video, the OSA part of the stream, stay tuned. I think it went really well. And I think it's good content. And I'll be posting about it in the Discord, most likely, for when the YouTube video comes out. I'll probably be promoting it everywhere. But join the Discord, regardless. I am live tomorrow for Element 3, the North American Tier 2 off-season. The games for Element 3 tomorrow are Karn & Co. versus Upper Decky, WildCard versus Fluffy Aimers, Sonics versus SG Academy, and Aerial Rise versus Thrive. I hope to see you there. I'm going to look in to see who we can raid. But in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow. The camera did not overheat. Have a good night, chat.
We fell in love with apologies, I'm always saying I'm sorry. You spill your train of thought, head on collision, we late to the party. Little too much too late, I don't really got too much to say. Pretty young day when you come my way, no, I can't think head up in spade. You my rocket girl. They said I'm looking too high when I'm talking to you. It must be true, stars in your eyes, they a beautiful view. You my rocket girl. Every time I see your face, got me feeling confused. Man on the moon, I told her, baby, I'm coming down soon.
I float through Saturn and Mars, make my return to the stars. But boy, you know I come down soon, just to touch down Earth and see you. I know galaxies and universe of jealousies. You know I don't play and you don't have to play with me. We can't get away to outer space or interdimensions. Honey, I swear you are so worth a mention. I talk to aliens at night. They don't want us to wait.
We're rating Spontaneous. Go say hi.